5 boring investments that make the rich richer while you chase stocks. Have you ever wondered why certain people seem to get wealthier year after year, even during market crashes, while you're anxiously watching your stock swing up and down? Maybe you've spent hours researching companies, reading financial news, checking your investment apps daily, yet somehow your portfolio never seems to grow as fast as you'd hoped. What if I told you that you've been focusing on entirely the wrong investments? Here's a shocking truth that Wall Street doesn't want you to know. 67% of ultra-high net worth individuals built their fortunes primarily through investments that most financial advisors rarely talk about. And ironically, these investments are often considered boring by the average investor. That's right. While you're chasing the next Tesla or Apple, the truly wealthy are parking their money in assets that rarely make headlines but consistently build wealth decade after decade. They've been lying to you all along. Financial media has convinced us that wealth comes from picking winning stocks, timing the market, or finding the next cryptocurrency moonshot. But that's not how real, sustainable wealth is created. In today's video, I'm going to reveal the 5 boring investments that keep making the rich richer while everyone else is gambling in the stock market. These aren't complicated strategies. In fact, their simplicity is what makes them so powerful. And I promise you, investment number 5 is something you'd never guess. It's responsible for creating more millionaires than all the others combined, yet 92% of Americans completely ignore it. If you're tired of the investment roller coaster and ready to build lasting wealth like the truly rich do, type real wealth in the comments right now and stay with me until the end. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to share exactly how ordinary people like us can start using these powerful wealth building strategies. Even if you're started with just a few $1,000s, let's begin with the first boring investment that's been creating generational wealth for centuries. The hidden power of rental properties. You know, most people I talk to are constantly checking their stock apps, hoping for that next big winner. They're glued to CNBC, following market trends and chasing the next hot tech stock. But here's what's fascinating. The truly wealthy, they're doing something completely different. Let me share with you the first boring investment that's been creating millionaires for centuries. Most folks believe real estate investing is just too expensive to get started. I need hundreds of thousands for a down payment, they tell me. But that's simply not the reality anymore. The wealthy understand something crucial about rental properties that most people miss entirely. They see them as well-generated machines that create 4 streams of income simultaneously. Monthly cash flow, principal paydown, appreciation, and incredible tax advantages. I remember talking with David, a retired teacher who started with just one small rental property at age 50. Everyone told me I was crazy to start so late, he shared. But 15 years later, he owns 7 properties that generate more monthly income than his former teaching salary. And the best part? He barely spends 5 hours a month managing them. That's because he followed one simple rule the wealthy use. Start small, but start now. He began with a modest duplex, lived in one side, and rented out the other, letting his tenant essentially pay his mortgage if direct ownership feels overwhelming. Start with an REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust, that trades like a stock but gives you exposure to real estate, or partner with others on a small property. The key is simply to begin somewhere. As my grandfather used to say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. While most people continue obsessing over the next hot stock, let's look at the second investment the wealthy quietly use to build their fortunes. This one might seem even more boring, but wait until you hear how the ultra-wealthy use it to protect and grow their wealth. The stability secret, bonds and fixed income. When I mention bonds and fixed income, I can almost see people's eyes glaze over. Boring, they say. The returns are too low. Yet what's fascinating is that nearly every wealthy family I've worked with holds a significant portion of their wealth in these seemingly dull investments. But why? Here's the truth most financial shows won't tell you. The wealthy aren't always trying to maximize returns. They're focused on preserving the wealth they've already built while creating reliable income streams. It's like the old saying, when you've won the game, stop playing. Bonds and fixed income investments provide something stock markets cannot: predictability. Take Martha, who sold her small business at 58 for $2.3 million. Instead of chasing high-flying stocks, she put over 60% of her money into a carefully constructed bond ladder with different maturity dates. My friends thought I was crazy, she told me. But while they were riding the market's roller coaster, I was receiving predictable monthly checks. During the 2020 market crash, she slept soundly while others panicked. Today, her wealth has grown steadily while providing reliable income for her retirement lifestyle. The wealthy often use a strategy called bond laddering, buying bonds that mature at different times, so you're constantly getting your principal back to reinvest. Even with modest sums, you can create your own income ladder using treasury bonds, municipal bonds, which offer tax advantages, or high-quality corporate bonds. Are you finding this helpful? If so, quickly type wealth mindset in the comments. It helps others discover this video and lets me know you want more content like this. Now let's look at the third investment that truly separates the wealthy from everyone else. While most people are frantically trading on Robinhood, the rich are quietly putting their money here, and it's hiding in plain sight. Private business ownership. Wall Street versus Main Street. Most Americans have been conditioned to believe that investing means buying stocks on Wall Street. But here's the surprising truth. Many of the wealthiest people build their fortunes by investing in private businesses, companies that will never be listed on any stock exchange. This is the investment category that's created more millionaires than perhaps any other. Think about this. When you buy stocks, you're buying tiny fractions of businesses where you have zero control. But private business investments allow you to have influence, sometimes significant tax advantages, and often much higher returns. The wealthy understand that Main Street can be far more profitable than Wall Street. Warren Buffett, before becoming famous for Berkshire Hathaway, made his first million not from stocks, but from private partnerships where he and his investors own actual businesses. Even today, many of his best investments are in private companies. And he's not alone. Studies show that over 70% of millionaires either own their own business or hold significant stakes in private companies. But I don't have millions to invest in private businesses. You might say, that's where most people get stuck. The solution? Start smaller. Today, you can invest in private businesses through equity crowdfunding platforms with as little as $100, or pool resources with friends to support a local business needing capital to expand. You might even consider purchasing a small existing business. Many sell for 2 to 3 times their annual profit, meaning you could potentially recoup your investment in just a few years. Would you like me to continue with the rest of the main content? Infrastructure and utilities, the forever assets. The fourth investment might seem like the most mundane of all, but it's one that billionaires like Warren Buffett have allocated billions toward. In fact, these investments are so reliable that they're sometimes called forever assets. Infrastructure and utilities, words that hardly get anyone excited at a dinner party. Water companies, electric utilities, toll roads, cell towers, they sound like investments your grandfather would make. And that's precisely the point. The wealthy love these investments because they provide essential services that people need regardless of economic conditions. After all, people will cut back on luxury items during tough times, but they'll still need water, electricity, and basic communication. There's a fascinating story about how Bill Gates has quietly invested billions in water and wastewater companies. Why would one of the world's most successful tech entrepreneurs focus on something as unsexy as water utilities? Because he understands a fundamental truth. Essential infrastructure generates incredibly stable cash flows year after year, decade after decade. John, a doctor I worked with, switched his investment strategy at age 50 after seeing his portfolio crash twice in market downturns. I needed something more dependable, he explained. He began systematically investing in a portfolio of utility companies and infrastructure funds. My friends laugh when I tell them I own water treatment plants and electrical grids, he told me. But every quarter when those dividend checks arrive like clockwork, even during market crashes, I'm the one smiling. You can easily add infrastructure to your portfolio through specialized ETFs or by purchasing shares in well-established utility companies with long histories of paying increasing dividends. Look for companies with essential services, minimal competition, and regulated pricing power. These are the characteristics that make these boring investments so valuable over time. Do you see how these investments could transform your financial future? Type 1 in the comments if you're ready to discover our fifth and most powerful wealth building secret. The one that's created more millionaires than all the others combined. The highest ROI, investing in yourself. Now for our fifth and perhaps most surprising investment. This one doesn't trade on any exchange, yet it has created more millionaires than almost anything else. In fact, when they interviewed over 100 self-made millionaires, over 90% credited the specific investment as their primary wealth builder. The greatest investment that almost no one thinks of as an investment is yourself, your skills, your knowledge, your abilities. I know that sounds cliche, but let me share something powerful. The average millionaire spends 5 to 10 hours per week on self-education, while the average American spends 0. That's not a coincidence. Most people hesitate to spend $500 on a course or $5,000 on specialized training, yet they'll happily spend that much on depreciating assets like electronics or vacations. Meanwhile, the wealthy understand that investing in skills that increase your earning potential can deliver returns that make the stock market look tiny by comparison. Consider Sarah, who spent $12,000 on a specialized digital marketing certification at age 52 when she was laid off from her administrative job. Many of her friends thought she was wasting money. "At my age," she recalled them saying. But within 6 months, she was earning $85,000 annually, nearly double her previous salary. Within 3 years, she started her own small agency serving local businesses and now earns over $200,000 annually. That $12,000 investment has returned more than $400,000 so far. The beautiful thing about investing in yourself is completely within your control, requires no special connections, and has virtually unlimited upside. It might be learning sales skills, public speaking, coding, specialized knowledge in your field, or even improving your health to have more energy and productivity. Here's a question that might shake your perspective. If you could spend $10,000 on training that would increase your income by $20,000 annually for the rest of your career, would you do it? That would be a 200% return in the first year alone, and the returns continue for decades. No stock or bond will ever match that performance. Yet, most people never make this calculation. Do you see how these 5 boring investments could transform your financial future? I'd love to know which one resonated most with you. Type the number in the comments below so I can create more targeted content for your specific situation. Now you've seen the 5 boring investments that truly wealthy people use to build lasting wealth: real estate, bonds, private businesses, infrastructure, and self-education. These aren't flashy investments that make headlines on CNBC, but they're the investments that have been quietly building wealth for generations of wealthy families, while most Americans chase the next hot stock tip. The difference between the wealthy and everyone else isn't luck, it's strategy. Comment Wealth Builder below if you're committed to shifting at least some of your portfolio away from the stock market roller coaster and into these stable, proven wealth building vehicles. And if you found value in today's insights, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. I share new wealth building strategies every Wednesday that you won't hear from mainstream financial media. Remember, building real wealth isn't about finding get-rich-quick schemes or outsmarting Wall Street. It's about patiently allocating your resources to assets that generate consistent returns over time. The kind of boring investments most people are too impatient to appreciate. As Warren Buffett wisely said, wealth is a transfer of money from the impatient to the patient. The wealthy understand this principle deeply. And now, so do you,